Bootstrap helper classes. Now, as I said here in my little demo page, lots of itty bitty classes that save you time here and there. And that's exactly what they are. They're just itty bitty classes that you just tag onto your HTML elements or links or so on and so forth. And it gives you certain styles that otherwise you'd have to code yourself, and it saves you time. And they're incredibly useful. I use them all the time. So I just wanted to run through them here. On the demo page, I'll show you the code, and then we'll talk a little bit more about some responsive utilities. So right here, I'm just going to show you before we jump into the code. We have contextual colors. You can see just have some paragraphs here, and they all have different colors. And you can easily achieve those just by adding a quick Bootstrap class. Same with the contextual backgrounds. You can see each of them have backgrounds based on a class that you add to the div. Quick floats, you just add a really quick CSS class to these divs and they float. This one floats left, this one floats right. And I've added a contextual background to those so you can see the background. And within this as well, this div that you can't see, but it is right here, it's actually using a clearfix class that automatically clears that element so that the following elements don't float up beside it and ruin the layout. Center content blocks basically does the margin auto on the left and right automatically so that whatever content you need centered, and not text align center, but centered in the browser, that quickly does it for you. Show and hide content. This is a div with the class of show, and there is a div there that you can't see because it has the class of hidden, hides the content. So jumping into our code here, I have an HTML file called helper classes. Go ahead and download that from the final course files that you downloaded, as usual at the beginning of the lecture or the section. And I'm just going to show you the classes here so you can know how to use them. So we have our contextual colors, and all you need to do is just add a class of text dash, and either of these will give you your styles: muted, primary, success, info, warning, and danger. Muted is just kind of a muted color. It kind of mutes the text, gives it a bit of a gray, makes it seem less important on the page. Primary is the primary color, makes it stand out on the page. Success, you typically use it for like a success message if you sent a form or purchased something and you would want to give them a successful hurrah. Info is just kind of an informational color. It's usually blue in this case. You'd use it for just kind of informational modal window or something like that. Warning usually indicates some sort of warning, obviously if they're about to make a mistake or typed in something incorrect. Danger is kind of the last step before something bad happens, and it's usually something like, are you sure you want to delete your account? Or are you sure you want to remove that image? So on and so forth. Contextual backgrounds. You would use exactly the same kind of syntax, I guess you could say, same language or keywords, except for instead of text dash, it is BG for background dash. Muted, primary, success, info, warning, and danger. The quick floats, I just have a couple divs here, and you could use other elements as well, but they have to be on block level elements. Pull left floats it left, and pull right floats it right. Now, because these are floated, all the content below is going to float up, or collapse beside it and sort of mess up the layout. But the clearfix class added around the parent element here clears those floats so that the content that comes up afterwards won't break. Center content block, you just have to add the center dash block class, and that will center it in the center of the browser if it has a fixed width. And show and hide content. This div has the class of show. This div has the class of hidden. That shows and hides the content respectively. So those are the Bootstrap helper classes. Now I'll just show you real quick here in the Bootstrap, getbootstrap.com website. The helper classes are here for you to check out in the CSS section. We pretty much already covered it, but it gives you a little bit more information and contexts and so on and so forth, should you decide to check that out. Plus a couple extra ones that we didn't cover because they're not very common, but you might want to know about them. Now, the responsive utilities are meant for faster responsive development, and you would use these classes to show and hide content depending on the device that you're using via media queries. And you'd want to use these, as they say here, on a limited basis to avoid creating entirely different versions of the same site. Instead, use them to complement each device's presentation. The available classes you have are the following. Class visible dash XS dash, and the asterisk is meant for you to either put block, inline, or inline block, as it indicates down here. Block, inline, or inline block. And that means when you display a hidden element, you want to let Bootstrap know, do you want it to display as an inline element, a block element, or an inline block element? Because, for example, if you're hiding a link, which is an inline element, and then you use this class somewhere later in the page or in a form or whatever, and you say visible XS block, then that link is now going to be a block level element, and it's probably going to break your layout. So all the visible classes let you choose if you want it to be block, inline, or inline block. Very helpful. And you can see XS, SM, MD, and LG are meant for extra small, small, medium, and large devices respectively, and they will make content visible on these screen sizes. Hidden -XS, SM, MD, and LG are the same deal. You don't have to put block or inline because all it does is just hides the content. And you can see here this sample or demo. It shows you which classes appear. Which ones work on which screen size. So you can see the hidden SM, extra small devices, it's visible, and visible also on medium and large devices, but it is hidden on small devices. Ditto here, but with medium devices and then large devices, it's hidden. That's how that works. And then there are also some print classes. So if you wanted to change the layout of certain things with print classes. So if when you print your page, it actually pulls up a different style sheet, and you can actually put some classes on your elements to hide or display certain elements on your printed page. And then the test cases here in your browser, you'd want to check this out. You can resize. It lets you know the green check marks indicate the element is visible in your current viewport. So you could see this element is visible on medium. I'm on a medium-sized screen. If I were to increase my screen, this would go gray, and this would say large. You're on a large screen, so on and so forth. That's kind of how the responsive utilities work. And don't worry, we'll use these as we go through the next few lectures and as we kind of build our final Bootstrap site at the end of this section. So if you feel like you don't know enough about these responsive utilities and helper classes yet, don't worry about it. We will play with it.